This is the Broseley Evolution Vue Electric stove, and it goes anywhere.
Hi, I'm Gabriel. My family have been manufacturing, designing and selling stoves for 3 generations. And this channel has 2 sides: stove reviews and information, and mini films about influential people whose success story might inspire you. Check them out and leave me a comment. You could also like and subscribe to see more.
You can have it in your outbuilding, and the log store's the perfect height. How about wiring it into a marquee? Maybe you could have it by your piano. Maybe you could have it in your tall fireplace and perhaps even put a pipe on the top. Perhaps you could remove the lower leg section, put some logs underneath, your remote here, and a pipe on the top. It takes 4 little screws to take it all apart and a Phillips screwdriver, so it's very, very simple to do. And then the log store comes off, and then you can put it in your normal fireplace if you've got one, with a little pipe on the top, just so it looks authentic. It has a maximum heat output of 1.8 kilowatts. It can be run without heat, so it's just as a focal point. And even at its full height with all of the stuff on it, it only weighs 30 kilos, so it's really portable. And as you've seen, it goes absolutely anywhere. Well, this is a bit of a first because it's very clean. It's 100% efficient. Although I'm not really sure what happens to create that electricity, so maybe it's not as clean as we imagine. But at least at 100% efficient, you don't waste any of the power once it gets to your house.
You turn on the stove and pair the remote by holding the flame and heat button for 3 seconds. You've then got the main on-off button, the heater button, and the adjust temperature button, the plus and the minus. Hold the heater button for 3 seconds to switch between centigrade and Fahrenheit. The flame button and wood button have levels 1 to 4, L1, L2, L3, L4. L1 is the full brightness and L4 is the most dim. The flame is controlling the backlight, and the wood button is controlling the light beneath the fuel. You set the time by holding the setting button for 3 seconds, and you simply press plus and minus to set the time. You then press setting, and then the diary button to set the day of the week. To make the stove turn itself on and off during the week, you've got 7 presets. You set these 7 options like this. When the stove is in standby, you hold the time button for 3 seconds. You then press plus and minus to set the time you want the stove to come on. You then press heat to set the temperature you want the room to get to. You then press date and press the plus button to tell it which days you want this to happen. You then press setting to set the time that you want the stove to turn off. And finally, you press setting again to go to the second preset until you've filled in all 7. The remote itself will sense the temperature. It tells the stove what to do, so it needs to be near the stove. For some reason, option 2 and 5 don't seem to be working on mine. What I've done is set them to go on and off at exactly the same time, so effectively they never come on. You can now press the date button and pick your weekly setting, or If you select A, or automatic, then it will work for all of them. So you could have it turning off and on multiple times a day, but make sure they don't overlap or it'll get confused. You can also do some controls on the top of the stove.
Well, when it's like this and you just got the light on, basically it costs nothing to run all year. But when you turn it on to full power like this, it gives you 1.8 kilowatts, and for me, on electric, that costs about 29p per hour. It's great. I really like that if I lose the remote under the sofa or behind a radiator, I can just click on the top and turn it on and off at my will. And I also like that it's really customizable. I can take the bottom off and I can have it sort of freestanding in a room really tall, or squat right down in a fireplace. At 1.8 kilowatts, it won't drive a room, but as a backup in a small space, or just as a focal point, it's great. If you like the look and don't mind the price, surely we've all got a place where this is a really great thing to have.